Alright, part 3 of episode 73, man, oh man. At least the others are already... well, they should be, hold up. Back up, do this. Part 1 is now in the playlist, and part 2 of episode 73 is in the playlist. And as soon as this one's done uploading, it'll be in the playlist as well, so... and there's always a link in the description. And you can miss the others. I did not expect to have this, but last time we... in part 1, we managed to go from here to the castle. And in this part, in part 2, the little memory I had left, I did from the contaminated areas all the way down to the division. Don't have any of fail-outs. And then the government, one of them is broken. So I only have 12 out of 13. But let us continue.
So what's our situation? Give it to me straight. I don't want any of this mamby-pamby bullshit people have been feeding me about what's going on.
Mr. President, it's bad. Whoever planned this timed it perfectly. We've already got outbreaks in 22 cities domestically and 14 internationally, and the reports are still coming in.
Do we have any idea who's responsible? Or is this a natural outbreak?
Negative on that, sir. DCD has just confirmed the pathogen is a smallpox variant. There's no way that got loose where it did, when it did, without some help.
So who was it? Moscow? Beijing?
They've got problems of their own, sir. The truth is we don't know. We just don't know.
Okay.
Are you sure you want to do this? The optics are going to be terrible. With all due respect, Mr. Mendez, screw the optics. Manhattan's in a crisis state, and this is the one club I got left in my bag. Hell if I'm not going to take a swing. Agreed. Hopefully, this will only be needed for a short time, and we can deal with the fallout once the crisis is past. And if it's not over quickly, what do we do then? Then you better learn some useful skills, because if this thing drags on, the damn optics will be the least of our worries. Carlos, thank you for taking my call. I understand you've got your hands full too. No, I understand. Not the time for pleasantries. No, we're no closer to finding a cure. Look, if we had anything, we'd be sharing it. This is bigger than borders. But these rumors of a broad-spectrum antiviral are just that. Rumors. Now, let's talk about this proposal of yours to shut down the border crossings in El Paso. I know you've got a lot of people headed south from there right now that you can't afford to take care of. Believe me, we don't want to outsource our problems to you.
Okay.
Have you heard?
Heard what?
About Waller.
No. What's the latest? Has he decided Russia's responsible after all?
No, he's dead.
Tell me you're lying.
I swear, I'm not. A heart attack got him an hour ago. They couldn't revive him.
Shit. That means that Mendez is in charge.
Is that all you can say at a time like this?
It's all I can afford to say.
Okay.
Let's get this rolling. Lannon, Guzman, you're going to help out the kitchen on 2nd Street Northwest. They're getting overwhelmed and could use a few more hands.
Got it. Let's go.
Taylor, Zimmerman, you're together at the shelter on I Street. No policy debates while you're out there, you hear me? Oh, come on, man. You never let me have any fun. Fun times come later. For now, we've got hospitals, shelters, and food kitchens that are all getting swamped, and they need a helping hand, regardless of politics. So get out there, keep your mouth shut, and help the people. That is what we're here to do, remember? Yeah, come on, Taylor. I'll drive. All right. Now that we've got that settled, Blevins, Cole, you're up next.
Okay.
Okay, people. Let's keep this ball rolling. Ramon, what have you got?
We've got the Iowa delegation on board if they get the amendment about biofuels.
How many are left in the Iowa delegation?
4. The rest are all sick.
Well, let's hope those 4 stay healthy. Who else can we count on? Hey, just got this.
The junior senator from Nebraska just sent her staff home for the duration. Damn it, we were counting on her support once we got through the House.
You have to wonder if it's worth it.
What is? This?
Yeah. I mean, it's getting really bad out there. Shouldn't we be, doing something else to help?
You mean instead of trying to push through an energy bill with the world falling to pieces? Well, yeah. Look, sooner or later this is going to pass. And when it does, all the problems we're dealing with now, they'll still be there. So it makes sense for us to keep trying to deal with them because someone has to.
And because we're at the bottom of the pay scale.
That too.
The bug out is set for tomorrow at noon.
I still don't feel right about it, Senator. We should be staying here and...
And doing what? Getting sick? Dying? We need to keep the government of this country intact so we can get through this crisis. And that means getting the hell out of Dodge for the duration.
President Mendez is going to need help.
What Mendez needs, you can't give him. Now start packing. Once that caravan rolls out, it's not stopping until we get to Raven Rock.
Gentlemen, ladies, I don't think I need to tell you the situation is dire. Exactly how bad it is, that's what we're here to discuss. Ambassador Minich, you have a report?
Yes, thank you, Mr. President. Unfortunately, it's not an optimistic one. If you look at the projections here, you'll see that the infection is spreading despite our best efforts to contain it. Make no mistake, we are looking at a worst-case scenario. We have verified cases on every continent and 147 countries, with the number growing pretty much daily. Infections are radiating out from major travel hubs into smaller cities and rural areas. In short, even the most draconian quarantine measures have failed. We need to concentrate on relief efforts and on finding a cure.
It's clear that a small-scale activation didn't do the trick. Hell, it went backwards on us. We've got reports of agents going rogue.
With all due respect, Mr. President, you can't toe dip in a situation like this. Half measures aren't worth squat.
Half measures my ass. Those agents have full executive authority and the most advanced tech in our arsenal.
None of them matters if you chuck them into the deep end without a lifeline. Jesus, Larry, you've read history books.
Fine. Call Louis Chang and let him know the second wave is a go.
I swear, Ellis, you ever get the feeling that there's something funny going on?
There's nothing funny about this situation, Mr. President.
Knock it off. You know what I mean.
I'm not sure that I do.
It's just all of this feels harder than it should. Like there's something pushing back against everything we're doing.
You sit in the big office. There's always going to be people pushing back reflexively on anything you do. You know I've got your back, and so does the country. So worry less about the hypothetical crises, and let's deal with the real one we've got facing us right now.
The situation's that bad?
It's worse. We should have done this a week ago, but Mendez wanted to put on a brave face for the public.
He's not going, is he?
No, he's not. We're getting what's left of the Senate, Congress, and Cabinet out of town. The Pentagon has already moved their people.
Pentagon's always ahead of the curve. So what's the plan for White House staff?
I'm sorry. You're considered non-essential personnel. They're not pulling you out.
I see. Well, I guess I better get back to work then. There's gotta be something inessential around here for me to be doing.
This is messed up. Some people are, you don't have this? Oh, too bad.
Joint Base Andrews, this is Air Force One on approach. Do you copy?
We read you loud and clear. Welcome home. I've got you at a bearing of 100 at 60 angels over.
Sounds about right. Gonna alter course to the southeast, heading 150, then come around and Parker.
Sounds good. It'll be good to... Wait a minute, what's that?
Andrews, what are you reading?
We've got a SAM. Evade. Evade.
Copy that. I see it. Initiating evasive maneuvers. Shit, we're not gonna make it!
Air Force One? Air Force One.
Mayday, mayday! This is Air Force One. We have a missile impact and are going down. Repeat, we are going down. We are...
Agent requesting backup.
Now there's this other one, like I said, it's broken, it's bugged. Can never get it no matter what. Couldn't even get it with my other character I was using to record the series with. I even went there. I think I even spoke about it. But off of the government to the hyenas. This could get messed up.
Now?
Hold up. They're still too spread out.
This is gonna be good.
Not if they notice us first. Keep your goddamn head down.
Look at those idiots. They have no idea what's coming.
That's the fucking idea. Get your fucking head down.
What are we waiting for? They're not even armed. This is gonna be a fucking pinata party.
If you're expecting candy, you're in for some disappointment.
The candy isn't the fun part. The fun part is seeing it fly everywhere when you whack the shit out of the pinata. I don't think I'm gonna be too disappointed.
Yeah, I knew this was gonna get messed up.
Where's the prisoners?
I got tired of them moaning.
So you let them go?
No, I didn't let them go.
Motherfucker, we were gonna trade them.
Oh well.
That's what you're gonna tell Diesel when he asks why you killed them?
I didn't kill them. The dogs did.
What dogs?
I don't know, some dogs. I didn't ask their fucking names. Oh, but they must have been fucking hungry. Cause damn, once they sniffed blood, it was chow time.
You stupid son of a bitch.
Well, whatever. Diesel ain't gonna do shit except huff and puff a little.
I think you dead.
They're running.
Not fast enough.
I don't know. They're hauling ass.
No way they can outrun Sherry. She's a fucking puma.
That's one tired-looking puma.
She's usually faster.
Oh, I can't watch this anymore. And they're liable to get away. Hand me my rifle.
Shoot the dude. The girl tried to help him, and you'll be able to back her too. Oh, what a bitch! She just left him there.
Yeah. I feel a little bad for this guy. First he gets shot and he gets fucking backstabbed.
I don't think we can carry anymore. Not even these meds? The box don't weigh much. The weight isn't the issue. It's just too much stuff. Are you sure about leaving this shit? I don't want to, but it's just asthma medication. I doubt there's a lot of asthmatics around anymore. Wait, I got an idea. Call Jay over here. What for? I'm betting he can rig this box so it'll blow the fuck out of anyone who tries to pick it up.
Oh, that's cold.
Hey, Jay! Come over here a minute.
You sick sickos.
I've called this meeting because we all have a common enemy. The True Sons are gaining a foothold in this city, and the more we fight amongst ourselves, the worse it's gonna get.
I ain't afraid of those bitches, and I don't need some punk-ass motherfucker telling me what my crew can and can't do.
I'm not trying to lay down the law, but if we don't find common ground, we will get wiped off the map.
Then what do you suggest?
We form a council. You have a problem, you leave your piece at the door, and we deal with it together, as an organization.
What is this shit?
It's called politics.
So you mean like a treaty?
Like a treaty. How you run your crew is your business.
I'm game.
Fuck it, I'm down. And fine. It's settled then.
Gather around, you bags of shit. It's time to hit the books. Okay, to make spice, all you need to do is spray the plants, get them all nice and moist, then spread them out on a table to dry. Quiet down! Fuck this up and the boss will have your nuts in a meat grinder! When they feel firm to the touch, take them over to packaging to get blinged up. Easy peasy. What did I tell you? This ain't high school. Misbehave in my classroom, and you don't get detention, you get ballistic therapy.
Chilo, that's good.
We've hit pay dirt, fellas. Delivery from our secret admirers.
It's about time. I need an upgrade.
So why do you think they're giving us all this shit?
Cause they know we the baddest motherfuckers in DC.
Give me that 9.
Hey, look. This one's got buttons and shit.
That's one BFG.
Those True Sons ain't gonna know what hit 'em.
We going postal on those jackasses.
Hell yeah.
I ain't got no
knowledge doesn't quite add up.
Fuck you!
We got a lot of dead wood on this council.
What are you saying?
I'm saying that they won't go down easy.
I got no problems pulling the trigger.
And that's exactly why college doesn't suit you. You're too emotional. Sometimes you gotta exercise restraint, assess the situation. If we do this, there will be repercussions, and we need to prepare for which way shit's gonna fall out. If we want to survive, all this infighting needs to stop.
Sure, that's totally achievable.
It better fucking be, because we can't beat true sons in a straight-up fight. We don't have the training or the discipline, so we have to be smarter than them. And fucking each other over at every opportunity isn't smart.
Depends whether you end up giving or receiving.
That's like arguing who gets the penthouse when the whole building's about to burn down.
Motherfucker, look around. Everything is burning down. All of it. If there's a chance you can get yourself a view from the top, why wouldn't you try?
Because there's an option not to die in a fucking fire. If we stop acting like it's too late to do anything, we can actually accomplish something. I say we tie this motherfucker to a noose.
Let's show the world what happens when they fuck with hyenas. Good job, fellas. So, it's true. When I was told they recovered the President of the United States, I almost didn't believe it. Needed to see it for myself. You seem awfully calm considering your predicament.
I'm in politics. I've been around enough liars and crooks to know when to be scared.
Careful, Mr. President. In here, you've got no power. You're nothing but currency.
What are you going to do with me?
Nothing. For now. But you should make yourself comfortable.
Okay. From hyenas to JTF.
Manny,
Hey, Mom.
where are you? Are you okay? Have you talked to your brother?
Slow down, Mom. I'm okay. We're shipping out tomorrow. They haven't told us where yet.
You're not in New York, are you? They say it's really bad over there.
No, I'm not in New York, Mom. Look, did you stock up on fresh water like I told you?
I have 20 gallons. Carlo helped me. He's a good neighbor.
Good, good. And food?
And food. Look, Manny, I understand that things are much worse than they're saying on the news, but... Ortega! Mount up! We're going!
I gotta go, Mom. I'll call you again when I get there, okay? Look after yourself.
I will. Stay safe, Manny. Besos.
Besos, Mom.
You Ortega, the comms guy?
That's me, sir. Where do you want me?
Yeah, I'm gonna send you to the White House. You've been assigned to the SHD.
The division, sir. Aren't they running their own comms?
Yeah, they're taking a beating and need all the help they can get. As do we all.
Is it that bad, sir?
Yeah, you don't know the half of it, son. I got a clusterfuck of a box quarantine to clean up and a full-bird colonel arrest. President Mendez seems incapable of deciding what fucking socks to wear every morning, let alone what to do about our country falling apart. And in the meantime, the streets are burning. But we'll manage. Somehow. You can hitch a ride with Thornton over there. Now get going.
Sir.
Give it to me straight, Manny.
It's bad, Major. A new faction has formed around Colonel Ridgway. Mostly guys that were under his command before he got arrested. They call themselves the True Sons.
Great. What else?
We're doing our best to protect the civilian settlements, but I can't see how we'll manage unless we're reinforced.
I'm working on it, but everybody's been hit hard by disease and desertions, and we can't just ignore border security and vital installations.
Understood, Major. It's a shit sandwich.
It's worse than that. It's a whole buffet of shit, but the stakes are too high to get finicky. We've lost contact with outposts all over the country. I'm honestly not sure where we can turn this one.
Agents expect me in every other day or so that's something.
Except they're leaving other places worse off.
True. The DC has priority. If the city falls, the country falls with it.
Any news about our latest POTUS?
I'm pretty sure he survived the crash, at least.
Well, that's so far.
That was a very crappy connection between those two.
Where are we headed?
Georgetown. They want us to check on the Sarah post. Apparently there's been some trouble.
Some trouble.
That's what the major said. I asked for specifics, but she didn't have any.
I'm telling you, man. Somebody better step up and get organized, or we'll be sitting here with our dicks in our hands while the city falls apart.
Did you hear about the riots in Bloomingdale?
I've been trying to catch up on my sleep.
15 confirmed dead. God knows how many wounded. Bunch of stores looted.
It's even worse in New York. I heard they quarantined all of Manhattan. That's crazy.
At least they're doing something.
Well, the National Guard's been called out. Should help some.
Yeah, that's all we need. Weekend warriors handling riots with machine guns.
Where are you taking her?
Roosevelt Island, quarantine zone, sir.
But she's not sick.
She's showing signs of infection, sir.
Well, then we should all go.
Mom! Mom! No, don't worry, Amy. Daddy will look after you.
Step back, sir. You're not infected. But you can't do this. We have rights. I said step back. Or what, you asshole? You're gonna shoot me?
Jim, don't!
Listen to your wife, man. Don't be stupid.
Fuck you. Come on, Amy. We'll see Mommy again soon.
Dang.
All right, people. Let's get this started. Wilson, give us the latest.
Yes, sir. At 1500 hours today, we sent a squad to investigate the situation on Roosevelt Island and deliver supplies. They were fired upon as they approached the shore.
Any casualties?
All hands.
Goddamn. We're not in contact with anyone on the island.
Not since the riots, sir.
That whole quarantine was a bad call.
Now the question is, what do we do now? Any ideas?
There's clearly a hostile element on the island. We have to assume they're in control of the situation. I say we set up river patrols to keep them isolated. We can afford to wait them out.
Agreed. Get it done.
Sir, there's one more thing.
What?
Ridgway, sir. Some of the men are saying he and the others were put in a stockade on false charges.
That's horseshit.
Just thought you should know, sir.
Yeah, thank you, Wilson. Dismissed.
Hey, did you hear about Mendez?
Mm-hmm. I know he's dead.
He killed himself.
Sure.
Ate a fucking bullet.
Whoa.
Yeah, I almost felt sorry for the guy. Stress must have gotten to him. Imagine all that responsibility.
Well, he kind of botched the job, if you ask me.
Well, true. Do you even have a president now?
I guess Ellis is it.
Who's Ellis?
Andrew Ellis. Speaker of the House next in line.
I can never work that shit out.
Okay, GTF done. I don't have any of those. I don't have any of those. Some of these, like I said, it's like some of them, like you need to run around and find named enemies out in the open world. How many have I found? I don't remember anything, except for the ones in missions themselves. So I don't know. Oh my word. And so it's pretty difficult. I wasn't down for sitting like 50 hours plus just looking for some names to possibly get what I'm looking for. So I don't know. Some of these are really crazy. But we're moving on now to New York.
New wave of agents just strolled in. Hell of a way to make an entrance. Chopper got shot down in Brooklyn, then they got mixed up in that Lincoln Tunnel mess. One of them did, anyway. Fei Lau's gonna need some recovery time at the base of operations before she's field ready. The other one looks fine. And see how long it is before the city chews them up and spits them out. Well, I'm not going to say that things are good, because they ain't, but they're a bit better than they were. Doc Candell is holding down the medical end of things, which is good, and Rhodes is up to whatever crazy shit he does with the systems, and meanwhile Lau and her friend are doing their best to clean up this mess. It's a big effort. It's going to take all of us, and a whole lot more besides, but for the first time in a long time, I think we got a shot.
Agent in need of backup.
So those nut jobs in the hazmat suits who call themselves the cleaners, they had themselves a nasty shot the other day when we took out their boss, Joe Farrow. We were hoping they'd just sort of fall apart after that, but no such luck. They just sort of regrouped. Each of them determined to carry on that lunatic Farrow's philosophy. Even worse, once he started running low on ingredients for napalm, they got creative with their chemistry set. So there's less of them and they're less organized, but your average cleaner, he's more dangerous than ever. how we got in this mess, right? A psycho named Dr. Gordon Amherst cooked up his homebrew smallpox variant and spread it around on cash on Black Friday. And, well, things got a little out of hand after that. The good news, if there can be any kind of good news in something like this, is that the virus looks like it's mostly burned itself out. You can still find pockets if you go looking for it, but why in the hell would you want to do that? Not everyone wearing the orange is as good a person as Lau. She got hurt, she stuck it out, and she found a way to help. Some others, well, they got their feelings hurt and decided to go rogue. You heard me. They took all the gear and training they'd been given and they went their own way. Sometimes they even took out other agents. The worst of the lot's a guy named Aaron Keener. He'd as soon kill you as look at you. And he's playing a long game. He's got Amherst's tools for cooking up a new virus, and he's got a hostage named Chernenko who can show him how to do it. Oh, and nobody knows where he is. So if Green Poison 2.0 pops up around these parts, you'll know who to thank for it. The biggest turning point for us probably came when we took back the UN. That's when everything changed. We took down Charlie Bliss and his command structure and cut the last man battalion off at the knees. But at the same time, that's when Keener really went in the wind with Chernenko. It was the moment when we all took a deep breath and asked ourselves the question, what happens next? You cut the head off a snake, you get a headless snake. Or in the case of the Last Man Battalion, you get a lot of soldier types wandering around without a real direction. They've still got officers and they've still got some kind of discipline, but without Bliss, you can tell the light's kind of gone out in their eyes. They're not fighting to take over the island anymore. They're fighting to survive. When it comes to the Rikers, taking out Lorraine Barrett is the best thing we could have done. Without her, they're dangerous. They're crazy, they're vindictive, and they don't give a crap about whether they're going to make it till tomorrow as long as they're having a good time today. But without Barrett giving them direction and purpose, that's all they are. And we can handle that.
Okay, so that's all of New York. Now to the Outcasts. I'm hoping there will be a part 4.
Hey, we found a small cistern hidden in a park on High Street. It looks pretty well maintained, so we're figuring someone's still using it.
You found a what?
A small cistern, probably about 40 or 50 gallons.
What's a cistern?
Are you kidding me? It's like a tank.
Then why didn't you call it tank?
Because it's a goddamn cistern for catching rainwater. Anyway, the point is, it looks like it's being used, so can you send somebody out here with something to poison it with?
You could have just mentioned that right away instead of showing off your damn vocabulary.
It's a fucking cistern. That's what it's called. Do you call an ambulance a van? No, because there's a word for it. Ambulance. Just send the fucking poison. Jesus.
Hey, I'm trying to get a hold of Henry Hayes.
You talking to him? Who's this?
Mr. Hayes, I've got a message for you.
Who from?
Emmeline Shaw.
I'm not much interested in anything she or the rest of you have to say.
You have a young lady by the name of Natalie go missing a couple days ago? I'll take that as a yes. Emmeline figured you might be worried about her.
I swear on all that's holy, you shitheads hurt her.
What? You'll do what, exactly?
Why are you doing this?
You're probably thinking about getting payback, aren't you?
Goddamn right.
Well, this is payback. It's fucking justice. And all of you cowards are gonna get a taste. Does it hurt? You think this is suffering? You have no idea, but you will. Soon enough. Be seeing you, Henry Hayes.
Oh, god damn, it stinks.
Of course it does. What do you expect?
How many of them in there?
I don't know. 15? I wasn't counting.
You kill them all?
We left one girl alive. We'll send her off to the campus to tell them what she witnessed.
That's good thinking.
Emmeline's idea, not mine.
And now everybody is just messed up.
We're running out of food and water,
We don't have enough blankets to go around.
Yeah, things are tough all over.
People are dying.
No shit, motherfucker. It's the fucking apocalypse.
I bet you're still getting rations.
Damn straight, I eat like a king.
You're diverting supplies meant for us, aren't you?
Don't look at me, man. I ain't diverting shit. I'm just trying to do my job.
They're afraid of us. We can use that against them.
They have assault rifles that they can use against us.
We're going to die here if we don't do something.
Committing suicide isn't really solving the problem.
We can win if we take them by surprise. There's only a handful of guards left on the island.
Great. You're taking her side?
There's only one side, and we're all on it. We were put here.
You're fixing to piss me off. Miss Emmeline?
Is this the wretch you spoke of?
Yes. He surrendered after we killed the rest of his squad.
I didn't do nothing to you people. I wasn't even in D.C. till a month ago.
You don't seem very loyal to your commander.
Lady, I'm just trying to survive. True Sons seem like the safest bet.
Is that so?
I got no allegiance to them. I can be useful to you.
You expect me to trust a man who would switch sides so easily?
Give me a chance. I'll show you.
Send his head to the general. Let the river have the rest of him.
Dang.
Get down on the goddamn floor now! Why are you doing this? You two, on the floor!
You are accused of complicity, of just standing by, as your neighbors, innocent of any crime or wrongdoing, were rounded up and forced into brutal isolation. Starved and left to die.
We didn't do anything!
That's exactly the point. For your crimes, your lives are judged to be forfeit.
That's just messed up.
I didn't think it was possible for someone to be an asymptomatic carrier of smallpox. But green poison also isn't a natural strain of the virus.
But why do you need a blood sample?
We're going to use it
To make a vaccine?
to make a weapon.
To infect people?
Of course.
Good. Is this the one from the boat?
Yeah. Try jumping overboard. We fished him out of the river.
What happened to his nose?
He wouldn't stop jabbering.
Get that gag off him.
Fucking murderers! Now there's a pot talking to a kettle.
You know what happened here, don't you, soldier?
Colonel Ridgway was arrested for that. We were bringing you supplies.
You mean to tell me you never heard a single rumor about how bad things were here? Your guilt is clear.
What are we supposed to do now?
Seek justice.
How?
Relentlessly. And without mercy. We were victimized. But we don't have to remain victims. We were imprisoned, but we don't have to remain prisoners.
You can say whatever you want, but doesn't mean we can do anything about it.
Our enemies are right across that river. They tore us away from our families, locked us in here, starved us, deprived us, assaulted, and murdered us. But it's not just them. It's also the ones who signed the orders, who decided this was an acceptable solution. And it's the ones, all the ones, who stood by and let it happen, doing nothing. I want justice, and so I condemn them, all of them, and I will not rest until they are punished.
Where does it end?
Where does what end?
This.
It doesn't. It won't. Not for me.
Has to end somewhere.
It ends when I wake up and this was all just a terrible dream. And my daughter is still here, and she didn't die alone, calling out for me, or too far gone to notice I wasn't there beside her. Nothing can make that right. Not ever. And until it's right, it won't end. Take the knife.
I don't know if I can do this.
Yes. You can. Take it. Good. Very good.
Don't be afraid.
I am afraid.
I know you are. I understand. You look at this wretched thing, and you see a human being. And how could you hurt a human being? Do you know this man?
No.
Tell him what you did. Tell him.
I killed a woman.
Why did you kill her?
I told her to get back. She wouldn't listen.
So what did you do?
Hit her with my rifle butt. She screamed at me, spat blood at me, so I hit her again till she stopped screaming.
Because she didn't listen to you.
Goddamn right. That's goddamn right.
Her name was Vivian Harper.
No. Murderer!
Our enemies are not human. Not anymore. They traded their humanity to survive. They roped us to an altar as a sacrifice so that they would be spared. But we slipped our bonds. And now they must be judged and punished.
That is just insane. Oh man, there might have to be a part 4. Oh my days, how long is this gonna take? I'm sure once we're past all these, which we're not too far to go. Depending on how long these logs are, but to the Christmas party and the Pentagon staff logs.
Have any holiday plans?
I'm thinking about heading back to New York to see my parents.
Don't forget to bring a surgical mask. I hear there's a nasty bug going around.
Yeah, I'm a little worried if I'm being honest.
I was a super short
That's
one.
great. My flight got canceled.
Probably for the best. I don't think it's a good idea to fly into New York right now.
Is it really that bad?
It's not looking good. Sarah's talking about quarantine procedures.
Maybe I owe TSA an apology for the scathing voicemail I just left their department head. Oh shit. I didn't expect the virus to hit us here.
I heard both Bill and Mika came down with the flu, and that's why everyone's quarantined.
Yeah. That's some really bad news, both for them and for the project. It's gonna take so much longer to get everything done with these restrictions.
Guess that's what they get for having an office affair.
Cold.
Not my fault they decided to start cheating with each other and came down with a dollar flu.
Ouch.
Did you get the non-essential slip?
Nope. I'm stuck here. You?
Same. Guess you're stuck with me.
Do you think we'll actually get this reactor built?
Yeah, I'm not really worried about that, but I have my doubts that we'll have the antiviral. Can't manufacture doses of the vaccine without the vaccine.
Do you think the DCD won't find a solution?
We still don't have a vaccine for AIDS, and that's been killing people for 30 years.
That's the true thing. It's like what you just said. What we are experiencing right now could just be like that. There could be no actual help for it. But I know there is, but if we told, not much, not many people believe.
Yep, they're over there.
That shit's fire for sure. We're gonna have this reactor up and running way before we have anything to run through it.
Right. We'll be prepared.
Yeah, prepared to watch the world burn while the DCD keeps failing to find a viable solution.
Yeesh. Salty much?
Of course I am. How many people am I supposed to watch die before it's okay to be pessimistic?
I'm gonna report you for creating an uncomfortable work environment.
Oh, sure. What are they gonna do, write me up? Then you can install these seals yourself. Who the hell do you plan on reporting me to anyway? HR was deemed non-essential.
What happened to this place? Even the food court is dead. You'd think we weren't working in the world's biggest office building during lunch or something.
Offhand, I'm gonna guess. A plague of biblical proportions rose up and wiped the stain of our country off the map.
Why do you always have to be so fucking dark?
It's in my nature to tell the truth.
Did you hear about Bill?
Like what, him and Mika? Yeah, we talked about it a while back.
No, I mean... He passed yesterday. He'd been in quarantine for some time. Security cremated him and buried him in the center courtyard.
Damn. I feel kind of bad for joking about him and Mika now. How's she doing?
Pretty bad. But she's still holding on.
Incoming backup request.
Do you think this will actually work?
If I didn't, I wouldn't be here. I'd be holed up out in Shenandoah waiting for everything to blow over.
Was that an option for you?
Yeah. My family has a place out there.
Shit. I would have joined them.
That's you. Well, you and the power of hindsight. Besides, you weren't invited.
And with that, I think we're done.
Give the SEALs another check.
I've been over them 4 times. Everything's buttoned up.
No harm in checking again. The DCD still doesn't have an antiviral that's effective. Yet.
Fine. At least the work keeps me from thinking about how bad things really are.
What? They're evacuating the staff?
Our part's done. Reactor's built and tested.
I kinda figured they keep us on in case they need to run it.
You've seen the Sarah reports. The government is all but gone. The president's dead. The thief offed himself. No one's coming to save us. This is the end times.
I've had enough of your negativity.
I don't give a fuck. We're the idiots playing violins while the Titanic sinks.
Nice.
No, it's not. None of this is nice. It's fucked. We're all fucked. And now we're getting pink slips and sent out into a world filled with disease, famine, warlords, and psychos. Now is not the time to be nice. It is too fucking dangerous to be optimistic. It's only going to get you killed.
Dang. Profile Agent Kelso.
She flunked the psych eval with flying colors. I've never scored anybody that low.
Imagine how bad things would have to get for Directive 51 to be activated. Every other option would have to fail. Every single one. Now you tell me Kelso isn't exactly the kind of person you want beside you in a scenario like that.
She's pathologically insubordinate.
That's an exaggeration. She's only insubordinate to people she doesn't respect.
Are you listening to yourself?
Well, it's kind of the point, isn't it, Tom? You don't call in the division if you've got a solid command structure in place. And if you have a failing command structure, the last thing you want is someone who's going to blindly carry out bad orders.
I've already passed her. I'm just praying I don't regret it.
You won't. Well, let's hope we never have to find out.
The chances the disease has reached that area are pretty low, but not zero, so stay the hell away from anybody with flu-like symptoms.
You're scaring me, Alani.
Good. That's what I'm trying to do.
Mama was in New York in October.
They're pretty sure the outbreak started in late November. And if Mama was exposed, she'd have shown symptoms long before now.
Okay. I'll head into town this afternoon.
Remember, dry and canned goods are the priority. Assume you might have to make do for months.
I sure hope you're overreacting.
So do I, Tutu.
Okay, so where do we stand?
Basically, everybody outside about a 50-mile radius of DC is completely cut off from the network. Completely.
What do we do about it?
First, we need to assess the full scope of the damage, which means going places that won't be easy to get to.
Because they're in hostile territory.
It's not just that. The flooding did a lot of damage, especially underground, which is where most of our infrastructure is located.
You think it was flooding that caused the network to go down?
Not a chance. This was deliberate.
What about you? What was your moment?
My moment?
That made you want to join up?
Oh, Hurricane Aniki. I was just a kid, but I still have nightmares about it.
You wrote it out?
We didn't have a choice.
Damn.
It wasn't just the storm, though. There was no power for months. Roads out, houses collapsed, or with their roofs torn off.
I can see how that would have been a formative experience.
Yeah, but it wasn't just the bad. It brought our community together. We made some friends for life that we might never have got to know otherwise. Plus, there was still a world out there. You knew there were places you could go where everything was just fine. That makes a difference.
What's wrong? You seem a little down.
It's nothing.
Well, don't give me that. Something's on your mind.
It's none of your business, Manny. Jesus.
It is my business because it affects me when you're moving around like this.
You want to know what I'm thinking?
Yes, that's why I asked.
I'm thinking I chose wrong. That I'm in the wrong place doing the wrong things.
What are you talking about?
Being here, in D.C., instead of being home with my family.
I know the feeling. I think everybody does. I'm not sure if this is the right choice, but it isn't the wrong one. And that counts for something.
That might be the least stupid thing you've ever said.
I have my moments.
It's stupid, but it's less stupid than usual.
I'll accept that.
Oh, that's easy. Malasadas.
What are malasadas?
Portuguese donuts, basically, but that's doing them a disservice. My friend's mom made the best ones I've ever had. God. I wonder if she's still alive.
I'm sure she's fine. I mean, it's an island, so it's completely feasible they managed to keep the virus out. Plus, doesn't Koei have like a 365-day growing season? They got really good odds.
You're probably right.
Of course I'm right.
I'm literally about to cry because there's a chance I can eat my friend's mom's malasadas again someday. How pathetic is that?
Not even a little bit, Kelso.
Thanks, Manny. And by the way, it's Kawhi. Was the sheriff here?
Just left.
Where to?
Wherever there's shit needing to be done, I guess. There's certainly no shortage.
We got lucky, didn't we?
Lucky?
When the network went down, it could have been the end of everything. But we got exactly the help we needed.
Yeah. It's nice to finally have a competent agent in town.
Ha. You got me. She still hasn't spoken yet? Not a peep. I guess it's not exactly shocking considering what she's been through. Are you sure it's not medical? I mean, we aren't exactly state-of-the-art here, but we haven't found any problems. What can we do for her? Teresa's been working with her as much as she can. Activities mostly. Painting, games, that kind of thing. Is it helping? Yeah, for sure. But it's a process, and Teresa has a lot on her plate. Maybe if you can stop by sometimes? Me? The only time that little girl lights up is when you're around. Okay. Yeah. Sure. I know you're busy. I'll make time. I think they were counting on steamrolling us, which they didn't manage to do.
They came pretty damn close.
These guys specialize in low-exposure ops. Get in, do the job, get out. The last thing they'd want is to get caught up in a drawn-out engagement that ties up their assets and limits their adaptability.
Maybe, but they seem to have a lot of assets.
They've got bigger ambitions than just DC. And a quick, efficient, symbolic victory here would help them sell themselves as liberators.
You think they care about that?
I think their plan depends on them looking like the good guys. Why else would they hook up with Ellis? He gives them legitimacy, which means fewer people fighting against them and more people fighting alongside them.
Against the bad guys, meaning us.
Meaning anyone that gets in their way. But especially us.
Okay, now we get Anton Ridgway. How many do we have left? We got this one and that one. And then just these. Oh boy. We got a lot more to do.
Major Ridgway, I want to come back to something you said earlier. Your specific words were they, referring to the operational planners. Weren't prepared to solve the problem. Do you remember saying that? I do. Do you mean that they underestimated the amount of assets that would be needed to complete the job?
It wasn't just about manpower or firepower, it was about willpower. They saw the enemy in the wrong terms.
What terms were those?
They viewed them as a military obstacle that required a military solution. As a belief, a mistaken belief that had to be disproven if we wanted our enemy to abandon it. It's not easy. It takes conviction, commitment, willpower.
How did you see them?
As a belief, a mistaken belief that had to be disproven if we wanted our enemy to abandon it.
Can you disprove a belief?
It's not easy. It takes conviction, commitment, willpower. Mr. Vice President, you asked to see me?
Colonel, it's a pleasure to meet you in person. Thank you for making time.
I'm at your service, sir.
Let me speak frankly. If we don't get this outbreak under control right quick, there's a good chance we're not coming back from this.
I agree with your assessment, sir.
Then I hope you won't be shocked to hear I'm recommending a mandatory quarantine in D.C.
Well, that won't be popular.
The question is, can it be done?
Not without adversity, but it can be done.
Then do it. I'm putting you in charge.
Me, sir?
Can you think of anyone better for the job?
No, sir.
I'll want a full report on what you want to do and what you need to make it happen.
Colonel, what you did was an atrocity.
You weren't there, General. You didn't see what we saw.
Don't give me that horse shit.
It's easy to pass judgment from the comfort of a federal shelter or sitting on a court-martial panel.
You had a responsibility to those people.
I had a responsibility to my men. Was I supposed to look them in the eye and tell them it made sense for them to risk getting sick? Dying? For what? A bunch of strangers that weren't likely to make it through the winter anyway.
What about the doctors? Construction crews? It wasn't just infected people, you goddamn murderer. You had orders to keep them safe.
Orders? Do you know why my men follow me, General? Because they know I won't throw their lives away. That if they're loyal to me, I'll be loyal to them. A commander who isn't loyal to his men isn't worthy of command.
Face the wall.
I am still your superior. You will address me as sir.
Face the wall, or you'll be beaten within an inch of your life. Sir?
You seem to have a bit of an attitude problem, soldier.
You seem to have a problem following simple instructions, Colonel. This is your last warning. Face the wall.
Whatever you say, son. You're the big man in here.
Colonel Ridgway, it's good to see you, sir.
Masters, what are you doing here?
Breaking you out of this shithole, sir.
That's very decent of you, Corporal.
Being decent is my greatest ambition, sir. Shall we get you the hell out of here?
No, not just yet. Let's liberate these other soldiers from their cells. See if any of them are interested in joining the greater cause.
Yes, sir.
You keeping up with the news, Antoine?
Yeah, can't stomach it.
My daddy was at Saigon in 75. He talked about this kind of thing. Beginning of the end, but nobody's ready to admit it.
Because they aren't ready to survive it.
That's what they got us for.
Anybody believe that's in for a nasty surprise?
You ain't sticking around?
Oh, I'm sticking around. I got my men to look after. Everybody else, though, they can fend for themselves. Because many of you are new to the unit, I want to go over the ground rules. The rules apply to all of us, and they are to be obeyed without fail. Rule number 1, the unit is sacred. Anyone who disrespects a true son is an enemy of all true sons. Rule number 2, every soldier fights. There's no place among us for cowards and malingerers. Rule number 3, readiness is obligatory. A true son must be prepared for action at all times. Equipment properly maintained, well rested, well fed, sober. Obey these rules and you will prosper. Violate them and you will suffer consequences. Dismissed.
Were you able to recover the Master Sergeant's body?
Most of it. By the time we got to him, they cut his head off.
As a trophy?
Hell if I know. I assumed it was psychological warfare.
Huh. Was it at this time that you called in the fire mission on the village?
It was?
Because you were taking fire?
Sure, that's what I reported.
You lied?
I said what was necessary. We had to bring the hammer down fast.
Weren't you concerned about collateral damage?
I was hoping for it. What the division understands that JTF command never did is that this is war. Our rules of engagement were based on the full notion that we were policing a civilian population. Meanwhile, factional warfare was raging all around us, and we were in the crossfire. It's all because our commanders weren't out there with us. They were holed up in bunkers, staring at maps and reading reports and drawing diagrams on whiteboards, making assumptions, getting men killed. Firing squad's too good for those cowards. The old world is gone, and I say we're better off. schemers and manipulators and exploiters, but cheats and liars and parasites. Our enemies oppose our cause. They detest our methods, but they can't say we lack integrity or conviction. We may be brutal, merciless, but we are honorable. This world, the new world, is for those willing to work for it, fight for it, stand their ground, regardless of the cost. Even if it means being hated, even if it means being at war the rest of your days.
Okay, that was almost said Professor Ridgway. Profile of the Anton Ridgway. Now it's Emmeline Shaw. This could get messed up.
We are here to answer one essential question. Did the defendant, David Campbell, murder Jessica Tempova on the afternoon of September 21st? Did he force entry into her Woodbridge apartment after she threatened to call the police? Did he stab her 36 times as she tried to fight him off? Did he then dismember her and dump her remains? The evidence you will see and the testimony you hear will lead to the only possible answer to this question. David Campbell is guilty. He stalked Jessica for weeks after they broke up. He left threatening voice and text messages. He vandalized her car. And when none of that convinced her to take him back, he murdered her. This monster deserves to be punished.
We captured another 16 people today. That's 34 in the last 5 days. It's a lot of extra mouths to feed.
Why are we feeding them?
We aren't going to get a lot of work out of them if we don't.
Get whatever use out of them you can. Then dump their bodies somewhere our enemies will find them.
You want to piss them off so they'll fight harder?
I want to horrify them. Make them fear us. Because fear will weaken them.
You're right. You're right.
We have to be monsters. It's the only way we can get justice. Harlan, do you know if we have any more glycine?
Still having trouble sleeping?
It's nothing.
Okay. I'll see what I can dig up.
I still hear her voice sometimes. At night. Crying out for me.
I'll find something for you. I promise. Why are we even talking about this?
Because it's important. If something happens to me.
Nothing's gonna happen to you.
Harlan, stop it. If something happens, if I'm killed, you need to use it.
Use it?
To hold people together. To galvanize them.
Make a martyr of you.
Exactly. Because otherwise it could all fall apart. It has to mean something. I need to know that it means something.
Of course it means something. Of course it does.
It has to. Where's my daughter?
Ma'am, step away from the fence.
Just tell me where she is. Please.
What's her name?
Shaw. Savannah Shaw.
Shaw? She's in the morgue.
No. That can't be true.
Look, I'm sorry. Truly. But you need to get back.
I'll kill you. All of you.
Ma'am, I have orders to shoot anyone who approaches the perimeter.
All of you.
What are we gonna do with him? We can't let him go. People want payback. And this kid's JTF.
I know.
We have to make an example of him. Publicly.
You mean I have to?
Yeah. I mean you have to. Like it or not, you're the one people look to. So it's on you to show them the way.
Then I'll give them an example they won't forget. Have you forgiven them? Never. Of course not. How could you? How could anyone forgive what they did to us?
But there's a difference between hating someone and hurting them.
You don't think they deserve to be punished?
That's not what I'm saying. Of course they do.
Who has the right to punish them if not us?
I don't know.
It's not just our right. It's our obligation to those that didn't make it. Do you understand?
I understand.
Have you read this?
What is it?
A report on JTF's investigation of how Ridgeway was handling the quarantine. This is what sent him to jail.
So? What's your point?
You've been painting JTF as the devil. Well, one of many devils. How do you think people would react if they saw this?
Burn it.
What?
Burn it. Burn every copy you find.
Leave it to me.
Okay, now we're fine then with this row. And moving on to profile of Henry Hayes. Man, there's so many of these. If there is a part 4, you'll see it in the title. It'll be like it is. Part 3 or 4. I hope not.
It's a little hard to talk about Stan. I mean, we all knew him, right? There's no getting around the fact he was a son of a bitch. But that's exactly why he's going to be missed. If you measure a person by how well liked they are, in the traditional sense, you aren't getting the full picture. And that's definitely the case with Stan. The only way I can think to say it is that Stan was essential. It's not exaggerating to say that without him, we wouldn't have made it. Because the characteristics that sometimes made him tough to be around, especially but not exclusively when he was awake, helped build this place. Protect it. Better it. I'm gonna miss the son of a bitch.
Henry? What are you doing back here?
Hiding.
From what?
Everything.
Why? What's going on?
Nothing in particular.
Want to talk about it?
It's nothing. Just feeling a little out of my depth.
You.
Why do you say it like that?
If you're out of your depth, where does that leave the rest of us? That's a good word. Indomitable?
Indomitable.
Henry, give yourself some credit. Now stop brooding and come get something to eat. Jed wants to rewire the whole thing. It's not an emergency yet, but better to take care of it before it becomes one.
What's the downside?
Well, it's gonna mean taking down the generator for a few hours, at a minimum.
How much of a concern is that?
Given a choice between a planned outage at our convenience versus an unplanned outage that'll most likely happen at the worst possible time,
Can't argue with that. What do you need from me?
just the thumbs up to get to work.
Ah, come on. You don't need my blessing for stuff like this. I'm just gonna defer to you anyway. Of all people, you never have to ask permission to do what you believe needs to be done.
Okay, Henry. I'll try to keep it in mind.
I understand you two are having a difference of opinion. That's a polite way of putting it.
With drainage systems, there's what works and what doesn't. Opinion has nothing to do with it.
In your opinion.
You can't argue with physics, dude.
Guys, hold up. What's the specific problem here?
He's digging a trench.
And that's bad.
As soon as it rains, it's going to turn into a big pool of mud. And most likely, it would overflow and flood that part of the garden.
That's bullcrap. I've been using trenches for years.
Yeah, well maybe that works in Tucson or wherever it is you're from. But DC was built in a literal swamp. It's going to be a disaster.
In your opinion, Mike, this is Janine's area of expertise. So we're gonna go with her recommendation, but if you really want to prove a point, dig a trench somewhere outside the settlement where it won't cause any harm if Janine is right.
Maybe I will.
Bring some hip waders in case it rains.
Why don't you boys get on out of here before you overstay your welcome?
Overstaying my welcome is kind of a hobby of mine.
Lucky for you, you can spend your final moments doing something you enjoy.
Is that a fact?
Realistically, I doubt you'll get much enjoyment out of it.
Think you can take me? Give it a try.
I'm no match for you in a fight, but I can kill you with a word if I have to. Do I have to?
We'll go overstay our welcome somewhere else.
Good thinking.
See you around.
Not if I see you first.
Look, Henry, I don't know what to tell you.
You could start with the truth. You said the situation was under control.
It was under control. Up until it wasn't.
Which was when, exactly?
I don't know, Thursday?
So you've been sitting on this info for going on 5 days. 5 days?
I wasn't sitting on anything. We've been working around the clock to get this fixed. But this ain't really about that, is it? This is about me. You don't trust me at all.
You're right about that. Why should I?
Why do you trust Janine?
Because because she actually knows what she's doing. And the rare times she doesn't, she tells me straight up. With you, it's always some kind of song and dance or a pile of excuses. I don't trust people who only tell me what they think I want to hear. So stop doing it.
Henry? Henry?
Yeah.
Henry, he's gone.
Yeah, can you just give me a moment with him?
Of course.
Doc, for what it's worth, I know you did all you could.
8 or 9 months ago, I would have been able to save him.
Back then, you probably wouldn't have needed to. He was a pharmacist. Not a job where you usually have to worry about getting shot.
Take your time, Henry. I'll be right outside.
Hey, you all right? What's wrong?
It's nothing. I'm okay.
Sure you are.
Sorry, I'm usually not like this.
Which is why I'm worried about you.
It just hit me out of the blue that today's my wedding anniversary.
Oh, jeez. That's rough.
You've been through it already, haven't you?
Yeah, but I didn't realize until almost a week later. Double whammy of feeling like a terrible husband and then remembering I'm not one anymore. And that leads to even worse shit. My son's birthday is only a few weeks away.
God, Henry, I didn't mean to drag you into this pity party.
You didn't drag me into anything. I invited myself in. If there's one thing I can say, it's to take the comfort that's offered. I used to convince myself I needed to suffer alone because it was the considerate thing to do. But it wasn't considerate at all for the people who saw me hurting and couldn't figure out a way to help.
And here I thought I was playing it so cool.
Okay, the other thing I can say is that your poker face kind of sucks, so stay away from high-stakes card games,
Dang!
More of them headed this way. We need to move. Now.
There's still people in that building. If we go, they're dead.
We can't save everybody.
We can save them. Go if you want, but I'm not leaving until they're clear.
Fine. You win. It's not like I have anything better to do than die heroically with my good buddy Odessa.
You want to die? You can die alone. I got plans later. I gotta go, baby.
Not yet. Just a little longer.
I've already been away too long.
Tell me about it.
Hey, that's not fair.
Yeah, tell me about it.
What is this? Where is this coming from?
Forget it. Ignore me. Go back to work.
Don't you pull that shit on me. You talk to me. I deserve that much.
What about me and Al? We didn't sign up for this. You did.
I thought we settled all that.
You made your position clear. It's not the same thing.
You're right. You and Al deserve better. But you're stuck with me.
Yeah, we are.
Tracy, did you copy? What's your status?
We started taking fire as soon as we approached the intersection. But it's only a few defenders.
That doesn't sound right.
They're falling back. We're going after them.
Negative. Hold there and wait for Richter.
We're gonna lose them.
Then let them go. They could be luring you.
They could be going for backup.
Stay the fuck put. There's no way it's that easy. It's got to be a trap.
Shit! I guess you were right, Odessa.
Forget it. Just deal with those hostiles. Richter's almost there. Motherfucker, are you high?
No.
Don't you lie to me. I can forgive a lot, but not lies.
Even if I was high, it's got nothing to do with you.
Is that what you think? Are you that stupid? Because we're all in this together. Every one of us. Depending on each other. If we can't depend on you, you can't stay here.
You can't kick me out.
Oh, I can. Believe me. I don't want to. I want to help you. But you have to be truthful. Is that something you can do?
Yeah, I think so.
Then let's start with that.
This is wrong, Odessa.
Maybe. Probably. But it's what I need to do.
You can't just give up. There's too much at stake.
They made an exception for me. Normally they don't take people with families, but they took me. Because they trusted I had my priorities straight.
I understand why you're having doubts.
I'm not having doubts. I have regrets. I feel guilty. But I don't have any question that I'm making the right choice.
I don't believe you.
My husband is dead. He might not be if I'd been there.
He begged me to stay. He wasn't sure he could protect Eleanor, but I told him I'd given my word that I had a duty. I did have a duty. I did give my word. Kelso was here. Who told you that? What did she want? The usual. What did you tell her? The usual. She blames herself, doesn't she? For what happened to you? Yeah. Was it her fault? It was no one's fault. Just bad luck. But don't tell her that. Mom, that's terrible. Look, it's hard to explain. Just because I know better doesn't mean I don't still sometimes blame her. You have to let her off the hook. You owe her that much. I will. I promise. But not today. I just realized this will be the first year in my life we aren't doing 4th of July at Grandma's. Yeah, I guess it is. Dad would be jealous. He complained about it, but he always ended up having fun. It was hard to get him to go while you were deployed. Really hard. Especially the second year. I'm sure it was. I shouldn't have brought it up. No, it's, good you did. It hurts to talk about him. But it helps too. Yeah, I know what you mean.
Incoming backup request.
Mom? I'm sorry. For what, sweetie? For not listening to you. You're 20. It's expected. You tried to tell me. Shh. It's okay. You made it home. That's what matters. I'm sorry. You don't need to be sorry, baby. You don't need to be sorry. Good to hear your voice, Henry. How things over in your part of town?
Not bad. Pretty good, actually. Borderline rosy.
Yeah, same here. Ever since that new agent showed up, feels like we've had a little more breathing room.
It has made a difference. In fact, that's kind of what this is about. Indirectly. Wanted to give you a heads up that we're sending a little care package your way.
A care package?
We had a good harvest, and we've already got a solid head start on our winter stores, so we figured we'd share the bounty.
That's very thoughtful. And generous of you, Henry. We'll have to figure out a way to return the favor.
It's not a favor. It's a gift. It's enough if you enjoy it.
Okay. Copy that. Thank you, neighbor.
That you, Sawyer?
It's me. Say what you want. I got things to do.
You ought to be nicer to me, woman. Unless you want me taking a special interest in making you miserable.
You want civility, start acting civil.
Hey, I've been civil. I ain't murdered all of you yet, have I?
If that's your measurement stick, then what are you fussing about? I ain't murdered you yet either.
Sweetheart, you ain't murdered me because you're weak. I ain't murdered you because I'm merciful. But that's what we need to talk about, because my mercy has limits.
You think I'm weak? Let's you and me have a little knife party sometime. See who ends up with more holes in them.
It's a goddamn shame we aren't on the same side.
We still could be. There's a place for you here, if you want it.
You're actually serious, aren't you?
Of course I am. At least for now. Sooner or later, God like you is bound to cross some lines you can't uncross.
Count on it. See you around, Sawyer.
Keep that one down. Now to President Ellis.
Where have you been? You ditching meetings now?
I was summoned by Waller.
What the hell for?
I don't know. It was strange. I think he'd been drinking.
Waller?
Yeah. I've never seen him like that. Rambling on and on about his legacy before green poison came along.
Nostalgic for the good old days, when America wasn't collapsing around him.
I guess. He kept telling me that Mendez means well and needs allies. The implication being that I should be nicer to him.
Yeah, we'd all be nicer to him if he was less of a dipshit.
I wonder if Waller is thinking of resigning.
Oh, God help us if he does.
Andrew Ellis,
Who is this?
a messenger. I believe Senator Richards was already in contact with you.
He certainly piqued my curiosity. I'd be interested to hear what exactly your friends have in mind and how I would fit into the equation.
Excellent. It would be
best to discuss the specifics in person, of course.
That can be arranged.
Oh, I gotta run. Mendez wants to talk to me about something.
Lucky you. I'm sure it will be stupefying.
God, there's gotta be a way to get this guy out of office.
Believe me, thinking about that is what I do instead of sleeping these days.
You sure you want to be in his shoes?
Absolutely not.
Well, somebody has to step up. And you're not allergic to making decisions.
That I'm not.
I guess you haven't heard about Mendez.
Who is this Mendez you speak of? Sounds like a real moron.
Not anymore.
Oh, he's resigning?
He's dead. He offed himself, apparently.
Mendez?
Yeah, no shit. Uncharacteristic of him to actually follow through on something, but now it's all gonna be on you. Hope you're ready for it. Mr. Ellis, good to finally meet you.
I'm sorry, you are?
You've been briefed on Black Tusk?
Yes, of course.
Well, I run the outfit.
I understand I have you to thank for my good fortunes.
Now, don't let it go to your head. We all have our parts to play, which is what we need to talk about. I want to lay out exactly how this is going to go down.
Should I take notes?
Now, what you should do is give me your full attention, almost as if your life depended on it. Hey, we need you in D.C.
D.C.? Why?
Look, our biggest obstacle in this whole venture is the Strategic Homeland Division. Now, technically, they answer to you. Realistically, they're a bunch of self-governing cowboys who answer to no one.
You think they're going to be a problem?
I think it's a risk, which is why I want you in their faces 24/7, reminding them who they work for, and watching out for telltale signs of misguided idealism.
Misguided idealism?
If they fall in line, they'll be a tremendous asset. If they get in our way, they're going to be a hell of a pain in the ass, in which case we need advanced warning so that we can take preventative measures.
When do I leave?
As soon as the plane's done fueling, you'll be kicking up your heels in the Oval Office by sundown.
Listen, Sarah, do you have a moment?
Of course.
I wanted to personally let you know that I'm leaving for D.C. in a couple of hours.
Isn't that risky?
I've been assured I'll be quite safe.
When are you back?
Hard to say.
Wow.
Yeah, but I'm thinking of putting you in charge of things here, if you think you're up for it.
Wow. Of course.
Good. That's good. In that case, I'll need to go over some things with you, one-on-one.
Sure. Okay.
It's hard to guarantee privacy in my office.
We can use my quarters.
Good idea.
Jesus, Andrew. Are you sure about this?
You said it yourself. Somebody has to step up.
What do you know about these people? Can you trust them?
I'm just a pawn as far as they're concerned.
Isn't that kind of a shitty position to put yourself in?
The thing is, pawns are dangerous precisely because people underestimate them.
You think you can turn this to your advantage?
I'm confident I can make myself indispensable and get some things done that have needed doing for a good long time.
I don't know. This is a dangerous game to play.
Is there any other kind these days? You must be Barton Schaefer. I've heard great things.
Yeah, well, I wouldn't listen to idle talk. I'm pretty lacking in redeeming qualities.
Right. Aren't we all?
So, let's talk about this cure-all snake oil I'm supposed to ship out of here.
Yes, about that. The situation is a bit complicated.
No offense, but all I need from you is information. I can do my own assessment when I have all the facts.
Okay. Well, here's a fact. We can't get into the facility without my briefcase, which is apparently being held at the Capitol by the True Sons. And the division already has plans to go and get it.
Well, that's perfect. As soon as they hand it to you, you hand it to me. Then we go fetch the goods and we all end up with gold stars on our report cards. It's not complicated at all.
I'm sorry, miss. I'm not sure what this is about, but I believe I've done everything that was asked of me.
Nobody thinks otherwise, Mr. Ellis.
That's reassuring.
As soon as the capital is fully secured, it will be time for you to step forward and take charge.
I'm ready.
I'm sure you are. I'll be in contact soon.
Okay, now over to Shay.
Let's get one thing straight. I got kicked out of Georgetown. The neighborhood, not the school, was running a 3.93 as a pre-med major, thank you very much, under bullshit pretenses. It was when I decided that maybe I could do some good with whatever training I had out in the real world, is when I got into trouble. You see, they built a wall around G-Town to try to keep infected people out, but that worked about as well as you'd think. There was always someone's cousin who had to be let in, or somebody's coworker, and before you knew it, we had our own cases of green poison. That's where Victor Tran came in. Professor Tran was a big deal in neighborhood politics, and it didn't take much for him to convince people that the right thing to do was evict the patients and spray the neighborhood. It would make all of them safe, he promised. Now, I knew this was bullshit. They hadn't had any time to run tests on this DC-62 stuff he was talking about, and I said so. Loudly. And that's when Victor Tran lied. He told people I was sick, too, which I wasn't. At least not yet. He had me kicked out with the rest of the infected. Sent us to the sewer camp down by the river and sprayed his DC-62. I hear it killed him. Justice. She works in funny ways. The Sarah camp was hell. It was overcrowded. It was filthy. It was undersupplied. And I heard later the unit assigned to watch over the camp was skimming resources for themselves. Wouldn't surprise me one bit. They stayed up on the walls, and down below we got sick. Those of us who were sick got sicker. And so many of us died. I wasn't sick when I got to the camp. That changed soon enough. I'm one of the rare ones, though. I survived green poison. It was close. I almost didn't. But thanks to some good people who took care of me when I was at my worst, I made it through. They're all gone, though. Every last one of them. I tell you their names, but what's the point? They're gone. Once I recovered, it didn't take me too long to figure out just how shitty things were. How little those guards cared about the lives of the people they were supposedly guarding. It was pretty clear that they weren't keeping other people out. They were keeping us in. Me, I like going where I'm not supposed to. Tell me to stay, I'll be gone in a heartbeat. And when I figured out they wanted me to stay in that hellhole, even though I'd recovered, I figured it was time to move on. Found a way out, and I took it. It took something else, too. A purpose. I'd seen too many people with nobody taking care of them. Too many people with no meds, no blankets, and no clean water. I was going to get those things for them. It didn't matter that no one else cared. I did. There was a family I found hiding out in an apartment off DuPont Circle. The father nearly shot me, but he was shaking so badly from the disease he couldn't hold the gun straight. His wife and his daughter weren't showing symptoms yet, but it was just a matter of time the way things were going. Got the father meds that made his passing easier, sat with them until he was gone, got them fresh water, and by some miracle, when they didn't get sick, I left them with a stash of meds and a way to get hold of me if they needed me. I could tell that story about 20 different families around the city, and all those stories would be true. I'm not bragging. I'm asking you what you're doing to make a difference. And if you're just surviving, to think about doing a little more than that. One thing I still haven't gotten used to is how quiet the city gets at night. I keep on waiting for sirens, for cars, for all the noises we used to take for granted. Background noise, you know? Now it's insects and birds. Oh, and gunshots, so maybe not everything has changed. I remember a party junior year at Georgetown. A bunch of us just hanging out and drinking beers, talking about what we're gonna do with our lives. I mean, well, pre-med, so it was kind of a limited conversation, but even so, none of us imagined this. I don't even know if anyone else who was at that party is still alive. And yet here I am, about to breach the Capitol Station dark zone again, looking for meds for the people who've fallen through the cracks of whatever system's left. I like to think I'm doing the right thing. The Capital Station Dark Zone is the easiest of them to crack. There was a DC-62 burst, but everyone in the zone was military, or Sarah. They knew how to handle an evacuation, unlike that poor idiot Tran. So they packed up everyone and everything they could get their hands on and got the hell out of there before the powder had a chance to settle. Good work, if you ask me. The thing, though, was that they got everyone out so fast, they left plenty of stuff behind. I'm told there's a fortune in military hardware just sitting there, waiting for someone to pick up. Not me, though. I wouldn't know what to do with half of it. I'm more interested in what got left at the field hospital. There's still meds there. Still sterile equipment and surgical supplies. Hell, there's even clean toilet paper. I've been in there 3 times and haven't come close to cleaning it out. I worry I'm getting predictable, but so far, it's been worth the risk. Found a little boy on the street today. I asked him where his people were. He told me they were dead. The way he described it, hyenas got them. They left the kid alive because they thought it would be funnier to watch him starve to death on his own. Fuck that. I don't care how many eyes they've got on me right now. I'm going to spoil their fun. Going to take him to the theater and make them take him in because he's got nowhere else to go. And he can't stay with me. He's just sitting in the street now, looking at me like he's not sure if I'm real. If the hyenas mess with me while I'm taking this boy home, they're gonna find out just how real I am.
Agent in need of backup.
Went back to the camp today for the first time. It's a dark zone now, abandoned and locked off, and there's rumors that it's haunted. Hard to believe that in the world we're living in now, people still have time to be troubled by made-up things like ghosts. Getting into the camp wasn't that hard. Someone had put in overtime cleaning it up from my days there. You'd never know thousands of people had died. It's not to say it was clean, just that there was no evidence of what had gone before. It just looked like a regular old supply dump, abandoned to the rats. There was a little bit I could use, so I took it. But the whole time I was there, I kept waiting for it to hit me, and it never did. It's like that piece of my past is walled off now. There's too much to do now that I can't afford to think about then. Shit, got DC-62 on my shoes. That'll have to come off. Not the first time, though. Won't be the last.
Okay, we got 2 more to do here. Oddly enough, I'm going to force a part 4. What I mean by force is I'm going to manually cause, instead of waiting the camera to do it at the worst time possible, perhaps in the middle of while we're doing one of these, it could just cut off. I'm not going to take that risk. So, I will not update the titles of the videos, and I shall see you in episode 73, part 4.